Yes.
Hi there, I'm Doreen Gagne, and I am here today with Tommy Lightfoot, who's the owner and master instructor with Lead by Example Taekwondo, and that's located in Huntsman Square in Springfield. Hi, Tommy, nice. Thanks for joining me today.
How you doing, Doreen?
Great, great. It's kind of unusual interviewing via Zoom, but we're all getting used to it these days.
Thank God for Zoom.
Goodness, exactly. So can you talk to everyone today about how you got started in this business?
I first started training in 1980 with my father. He and I started together. And I first started teaching in 1995, years later.
Oh, wow. Wow. And how did you get started with this particular opening a business? So how did that come about? Was there any?
So when I first started with my father, it was at the Junri Institute in Alexandria on Duke Street many years ago. And then after college, I wanted to get back into it. And I started with Chun-Ri in Junri Annandale. And after teaching for him for about a year or two, he actually sold me the business. So that's how I got started.
Oh, wow. Well, lucky you, huh? So, what types of services do you offer? So talk about what you do at your studio there, and what types of services do you offer?
So we have our classes broken down by age. We have a 3-year-old class,
wow,
a 4 to 6-year-old class, 7 to 12-year-old class, and then the teen and adult classes. And then within each of those age brackets, we have ranks that are white through black belt. There are 10 ranks total.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And typically, how big are your classes? Are they a smaller size, bigger size? Do you do private lessons?
All of the above. We have private lessons, we have smaller classes, we have bigger classes. So our classes can range in size from 5 people in a class to 30 people in a class, just depending on what day and time and rank they are.
Okay, well, great. What do you enjoy most about doing this?
It's definitely a passion for me. I enjoy being able to make a difference in people's lives and see them grow physically and mentally, and the confidence that they are gaining by not only obtaining the belts, but then seeing them succeed in life after Taekwondo as well.
How does it change people's mindsets? Tell me about that.
You know, in Taekwondo and specifically at our school, we have stripes, and each stripe develops their confidence more and more. So it teaches them that if I practice something over and over, I'll be prepared to progress. And each time they do that, each time they go through that process, their confidence grows. And by the time they're on their 4th or 5th belt, you can definitely see a transformation. And then by the time they're a black belt, they're just, very confident in everything they do.
I can imagine. How long would you say it takes to go from, typically, I know every person is different, but say you were starting from 0 and progressing up to that black belt? Is it years? Is it decades? Is it?
It really depends on what age you start. Like we've had people start as young as 3. Like my daughter started at 2 and 10 months. We actually created the 3-year-old class for her. And she earned her black belt at the age of 7. So for her, it was about 4 years. For myself, I was kind of a prodigy who took class during the day and the evening with my father. So mine was 18 months. And the average student, I would say, takes 3 to 5 years, just depending on what age they started.
Mm-hmm. Wow, but that's pretty impressive. That's really impressive. That I was thinking it took a lot longer than that.
Yeah, yeah, and some styles it takes a lot longer, like jiu-jitsu, it takes a lot longer. But in Taekwondo, the process is a little more, direct and sooner based on how many belts we have, with there being 10 belts and 4 stripes at each belt. With American society, of course, everyone likes the instant gratification. So I think that's what makes it a popular art, is that people don't have to train so long to see some progress.
Would you say it's a more physically discipline, or mental, or sort of a combination of both?
Oh, it's definitely a combination. The physical, the mental, the spiritual, everything is kind of tied in the Taekwondo field. And it is meant to not, only help you at Taekwondo, but help you in all aspects of life.
And I can speak from having been a teacher for so many years. Many students who are having difficulty focusing in the classroom, or difficulty even just completing assignments, many of them who took any of the martial arts, that seemed to help them in all areas academically. So
absolutely. Over the years, we definitely have seen a increase in the number of students with ADHD and ADD and different challenges, and it definitely helps them.
Do you see them in your studio? Do you see them actually improving in terms of focus?
Yes, absolutely. Usually by the second belt, you'll see some improvement. And then by the 4th or 5th belt, it's more measured. But you definitely can see it, So that's one of the great things about teaching is being able to see them and how much they struggle with certain things. And you have a big part in that.
Yeah. So what is your greatest, what do you think your biggest challenge is working at your studio?
The dealing with children with challenges is not really a challenge. We kind of actually welcome that and, take a lot of pride in that. So I would say indirectly, it'd be something more tied into, in our area, we have a lot of military families. So we see students move in and out of the area a lot. That's probably one of the biggest challenges at our South Run Springfield location.
And as you know, mill spouse, my son's an Army Ranger, so I know it's difficult to have that continuum. Is this something that those military families can take with them, though, to another location?
Yeah, there are schools throughout the country that teach a similar curriculum, if not the same curriculum. And, a lot of times we'll assist them in trying to locate one of those schools, as we have friends throughout the country that we can recommend them to. And then if they're not able to, then we let them know to sit in on the class and, really watch the teacher and student interaction and see if there's, a good connection there, because that's more important than the actual art, is what kind of, respect there is and what type of learning environment there is for that student.
I agree. I think in any situation, that's the truth. What's the biggest reward you have in doing what you do? What would you say?
I would say that when you see them graduate to black belt, knowing where they started, and we have them do a speech, a testimonial of what Lead by Example Taekwondo has done for them. And a lot of times it just moves the instructors to tears to hear them talk about it, because we reflect on how they were and where they are now, and it's that's one of the biggest rewards, is seeing them make that speech and be proud of their journey, and then keeping in touch with them even after that, whether the training or not, and seeing them move on to college and great careers, and that whole process is the biggest reward for us.
I could see Lead by Example is a great name, because we need more of that in society today. Lead by example. So do the right thing. So I know it's difficult for everybody during this pandemic. So what are the types of things that you've done to perhaps adapt during this pandemic? Obviously, it's impacting.
Yeah, it's definitely, a big adjustment for everyone. We started off with putting our curriculum online. And then we took that a step further by doing private and group classes on Zoom, where students can, join in with a big group, or they can schedule a one-on-one time slot. And it's been pretty good. We've had more than half of our students participating in that so far after 4 weeks, and we're hoping to get closer to 100% as the weeks progress.
Is this something you offer perhaps to students who've never participated and joined? Can other kids, because there are lots of parents at home who,
Yes.
who need to fill the day, right?
Of course, yeah, going crazy at home, right?
Yes.
So that's a good question. So far, we've had one parent join, and then we've had another student ask could they recommend 2 of their friends as well. So yes, to answer your question, they can participate. What we do is we do one free one-on-one lesson to get them acclimated, and then they join into the group class after they've done that one-on-one class. So they get those 2 free lessons to see if it's for them or not. And then we go from there.
That's amazing. That's amazing. But truly, to have, and especially being at home, the kids who can't go out and do some things, great focus. I like that. So where can people go to sign up for those classes who are not currently enrolled in your school?
So if they're not currently enrolled, they can go to our website, which is lbetkd.com, LBE for lead by example, TKD for taekwondo.com. Or they can email us directly at lbetkd@yahoo.com.
And that'll all be in the site. So anybody who wants to sign up, they'll see all of that information. And something else that I noticed you did, talk to me when school gets opened and kids go back. You offer transportation. Talk to me about what you offer in terms of after school programs once that opens.
So we pick up from a lot of the local elementary schools, and we bring the kids to the Taekwondo school, and they train in their Taekwondo class, and then they also receive homework help. We have healthy snacks, and then the parents have until 6:30 p.m. each day to pick them up.
Oh, that's
and then
great.
when there's not school, we have camps typically. When there's not a pandemic going on, we have camps. And with the camps, they can drop them off at as early as 8:30 in the morning, sometimes even earlier, and they have until 6:30 p.m. and it includes a field trip each day.
So during the summer, during spring break, during winter break, so when parents are working and whatnot.
Yes.
Oh, do you provide transportation for those, or parents have to drop
Yes.
off and pick up?
Well, they drop them off in the morning.
Okay.
But if they are unable to, then we can try to help them with the transportation part of it as well. Typically, most of our families are within 5 minutes of the school. So
I know you serve the community. Yeah. Why did you select this location? Any particular reason?
I have been in the Northern Virginia area my entire martial arts career, from training as a student in Alexandria. My first school was in the Annandale and Pinecrest area. My next school was in the Fair Oaks community. And one of the challenges in the martial arts business is there seems to be a martial arts school in almost every shopping center. And a friend of mine wanted to get into the business. So he and I were just canvassing great areas that, seemed like they had good communities and good facilities, like the South Run Rec Center tells you that it's a very active community in addition to so many homes. And we like the proximity of the military and being able to get involved with a lot of the military families as well.
Yeah, I used to walk up to that shopping center all the time. Right down Huntsman Boulevard. It's very community oriented.
Then my cousin who manages the location, Mike Lurch, he used to live in Lorton, and he made me aware of the convenience of that location as well.
Yeah, it is convenient. It's easy for parents to get to. It's right there at the Fairfax County Parkway. You can shoot on up right from there up to the metro. So it is a great location.
Yes.
Tommy, I hope you stay well during this time, and thanks so much for joining me today via Zoom. And I hope.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Wish you well. And
All
I'm
right,
going
you
to look
stay
for
safe.
you too. I'm going to look for the Zoom classes myself.
Okay. And we have, other than the 1 week free, we also have 10% off for military, first responders, and teachers as well.
Oh, that's amazing. Great.
Yes.
I love that. I love that you give back that way. Those are people all near and dear to my heart. So, all right. Well, you stay well, and thanks again.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.